I have a lot to say about Idubbbz, man. First things first, no one talks about this, right? Everyone is like, oh, his wife's chopped. Has anyone seen him lately? This video, dude, he looks more chopped. This is like one day out of the crack house, you know, off that 1 week bender. He looks lost, looks homeless and in disarray. Anyway, forget that. We're not gonna do ad hominems, okay? We don't do that. Let's take a look.
Just when he thought Anisa's husband, aka Idubbbz, aka Ian Jomha, couldn't dig himself into a deeper hole, he decides to not just backstab one of his biggest supporters, Ethan Klein, but totally destroy whatever hope he had of Creator Clash 3 succeeding.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan.
Oh, no.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be awake.
Yo, this was so cringe. I did not. Why did he do this? Why did anyone agree to this? Wakey, wakey. Oh, it's so bad. It's so forced.
Then
Wake up, Ethan.
this is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be uncovering the story of the most mismanaged creator event in internet history, Creator Clash 3. How Idubbbz managed to ruin the event before it even started.
And so, by the way, when he talks about, or he did talk about TanaCon like 8 years ago, and he went to TanaCon, and then he got Tana Mojo to say the N-word. No, he didn't. He asked her to say the N-word. You know, the whole meme was that TanaCon was a fucking disaster. All these years later, Creator Clash 3, a worse disaster than TanaCon ever was. Crazy how life comes at you.
What he did to degrade his reputation even further, and why he can't seem to understand it's all his fault. Last year, I made a separate video discussing the first 2 Creator Clash charity events, as well as how Idubbbz managed to simultaneously sour both his reputation and the event's goodwill through a petty feud. Between 2021 and 2023, Idubbbz and the creator Sam Hyde found themselves locked in a number of heated exchanges that stemmed from a failed documentary collaboration. From Idubbbz banning him and the fighter he trained from attending Creator Clash, to Sam calling him a cuck for
Does he not know what the Streisand effect is? It's like when you make something that you don't want to be a big deal, like if you tell everyone, hey, don't make this a big deal, they're gonna make it a big deal. If they say, hey, you know, I don't want Sam Hyde to come, I want to ban him so that he doesn't cause a commotion. By banning him, you're causing a commotion. That's the Streisand effect.
supporting his wife's OF account. The two were locked in an ever-escalating.
It's like if you have beef with someone on YouTube or something like that, and then you take down their video as a response because you don't want people to hear what they have to say, you're just making it a bigger deal because now you've escalated it. Are you broke as hell and looking for money without selling your feet pics to old men on the internet? Well, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Free Cash. Free Cash is a site that literally pays you to do dumb, easy stuff on your phone. I'm talking download an app, play a game, fill out a 2-minute survey, and boom, you get paid. It's fast, it's legit, and it actually works. They've got over 180,000 reviews on Trustpilot, and the cash out options are easy. You can cash out through PayPal, crypto, or gift cards to Amazon, Netflix, Spotify, you name it. Look, you're not gonna quit your job for this, but if you're already doom scrolling on the toilet or in your bed at 3 a.m., you may as well make a quick buck. So scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description or in the pinned comment to get started today. It is 100% free to sign up, and you can get started, make some money within minutes. The average user cashes out in like 17 minutes. Trust me, it's legit. I've tried it. I've gotten some Clash of Clans gems on there, so please. So help the boy out and help yourself out by signing up for Free Cash today.
Beef that was ruining the fanfare around the event.
Were you under the impression that you were going to be on this card at any point?
No, I didn't think I was going to be on the card, but I didn't realize at any point that I was going to be blacklisted from a charity event. That I bought I got 5 front row tickets. It was $10,000, and it's for charity. And supposedly I'm going to be refunded this money. So I guess he wants me not around badly enough that it's worth taking away $10,000 from charity.
All because he's like vaguely afraid of him. Like he thinks that he is like a menace. He's afraid of Sam Hyde. Bro, like the boogeyman could come to my charity event if he was gonna give 10K to charity. I'd be like, all right, I'm a little scared of you. I look away, but the 10,000 is the bottom line.
While the first installment of the Creator Clash brought in over $1 million for charity, the second was a complete bust and lost.
It reminds him of his father or some shit. Sam Hyde? No, I think that would be his boxing coach. His boxing coach was sat down at Denny's and lectured about how the way that he behaves reminds him of his father, which is cool. which is great, which is good.
Around $250,000. One thing of note during this entire controversy was Idubbbz's extreme sensitivity to criticism. Whenever fans or creators like Sam called him out for denouncing the edgy persona that built his career, Idubbbz would immediately overcorrect by either trying to silence the criticism or doubling down on hating the man.
I can't stand this shit, dude. When you have someone who has an edgy past and they will not shut up about how regretful they are about it. I'm one of the good white people. Please forgive me. The white guilt that someone like Idubbbz has, this is what people talk about. You know, when they say that they're sick and tired of white guilt, they're tired of people like Idubbbz not shutting up about how he made a few jokes with the N-word. Who cares, bro? Who actually cares? I can't stand it, bro. Like, yeah, okay, you said the N-word, you said the F-word. Who cares at all? This was like, what, 8 years ago? And also, it's like, one thing I remember that was so crazy was how he deleted all of his content cop videos because he thought that they were vicious, and he thought that they were bad for the world, right? And he would never do them again. But then he just goes and does it again because this time it's like, it's appropriate against Ethan Klein. Okay, so your problem is that you're doing content against people, and that negativity is bad for the world, but you still went on to do it, just without the slurs. So I don't know if you've changed at all. It's the same shit, just a different target. Literally, it's like, okay, it's okay this time. You know, the old content cops were bad, but this one's fine because it's against someone that I've deemed it to be as an acceptable target. I feel like it just doesn't make any sense. You know, either like you can't do the content cops because they're mean, or you can.
He used to be.
I've realized that I need to be crystal clear about what I believe, so there's no room for ambiguity. I am responsible for creating a lot of hurtful and damaging content on this channel, and I've also created a culture of
people used to be terrified of this guy making a video on them, by the way. You know that Leafy, he came back to the internet and he said that when he was 20 years old, he actually had nightmares about Idubbbz and the results of the content cop. This person would literally be like the tooth taker in 2016, okay? You could do whatever content you wanted, so long as it didn't displease Idubbbz. Now you look at this guy, a shell of his former self, this ghoul, okay? This auraless, it's just sad. It really is just sad. I think it's sadder because we saw what he once was. You know, if it's just like you see someone like this, it's just like an NPC bum. But it's to know that you were at one point on the top of the world and then you had this fall off when he's lost like 700,000 subscribers. It is sad.
apathy and I don't know.
Idubbbz got pussy once and went crazy right after. And then, you know, people on Twitter talk about how incels, it's the worst thing you can be. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Getting pussy and not being an incel and turning out like this, infinitely worse.
A lot of like cruelty as well. Like, you know, some of the videos I've made have been very not edgy. I don't think they you know, some of these videos were edgy. I think they were just outright cruel.
They were outright cruel. That's not okay to be cruel. It's really bad to be cruel.
Ethan. Wake up.
It's you don't want to be mean to other people and be cruel.
Time to be awake.
This was what, like a week ago? A month ago?
Wake up, Ethan.
Yeah, no, we don't like cruelty. We don't like cruelty.
Cruel. So I don't want people to, you know, get it confused about, you know, where I stand. I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it.
While the controversy cost him more than 700,000 subscribers, and
I mean, that's just like insane. 700,000 subscribers. How do you displease this many people by trying to be the nice guy? Could it be that because it's not actually about being nice, but it's rather about pandering? You don't care about the niceness. It's not about cruelty, okay? It is about appeasing a mob of people that you share an ideology with. That's all this is. Because if it was about cruelty, then you would have never made a video against Ethan Klein. You would have never made a video against Sam Hyde. You know, it's not about cruelty, right? Because you're cruel to people all the time, and that's fine. But to act like you're not is dishonest. Like, let's go to his channel, okay? I guarantee you, I'll find content that he's made against people that's very recent that he can now justify because it's ideologically convenient. Let's take a look here, okay? Guarantee you. Ready? The president. Okay, this is anti-Trump, so he's being cruel against Trump. He's being cruel against Ben Shapiro, Nick Fuentes, Charlie Kirk, you know, Logan Paul, whatever. And so it's just like, I don't care that he's being cruel against these people. That doesn't matter to me. It matters that he's lying. I don't want to be cruel. You do.
and left a mark on his reputation, Idubbbz was mostly able to put it behind him and resume uploading content in the months that followed. However, by the 4th of February 2025, Idubbbz would take yet another sip from the well that had poisoned his career, when the Creator Clash Twitter account announced the next installment of the charity event. Despite the previous controversies surrounding Idubbbz and the Creator Clash brand.
Quick question, what's wrong to being being cruel to people who deserve it? Nothing. Literally nothing. I don't think that's a problem at all. I think it's a problem when you act like being cruel is not okay and then you go and do it, because that makes you dishonest.
And viewers were more than willing to give the event and its associated charity streams another shot, with comments like,
like a lot of leftists do this. A lot of leftists will preach kindness. They'll talk about, you know, being loving to people, and they'll have that as one of their virtues of being kind and tolerant. But if you are not of their same ideology, then you can basically be as shitty as you want to them. You can dox them, you can berate them, you can shit talk them. It's all fair game because they're not on your side. I just think if you're gonna say that kindness matters, you have to be kind to like everybody. You know, if you're gonna say be kind, don't be cruel. These are principled stances that cannot be dependent on like if someone agrees with your politics, right? I think that's just like the fact, okay? You know, it's the same thing with like, you ever seen like the meme where it's like people who have like a Bible verse in their Instagram bio and then they're talking the most shit? It's like, okay, you know, it's a lot of fake purity stuff. People who are always trying to appear as kind and endearing and loving, but they don't really mean it. I think if you're gonna act like this is something you care about, then you have to actually like, you know, walk the walk. Idubbbz doesn't do that. A lot of people don't do that. But with Idubbbz, it's like the easiest to notice.
Truly zero idea this was even happening. I think this was a great idea to promote the actual.
I treat everyone with equal assholeness. There you go. That's perfect. 100%. I personally think the problem is when you preach kindness, but you have so many exceptions to who deserves that kindness. On the money. 100%.
Event coming up, but this live stream.
It's like if you say like, okay, you know, kindness, respect, tolerance, but not for them, but not for them, but not for that guy because of something that he said, you know, 5 or 6 years ago, but not for that guy because, you know, he watches a canceled YouTuber. It's just like, what are we doing here?
Stream itself needed to be announced ahead of time. This was fun and looks like it has lots of potential to get lots of money for charity if you advertise it a bit. I'm sure lots would show up and donate. Please promote the event more than last year. I want to see it be successful. The positivity around the event wasn't just limited to the comments, as many viewers eagerly supported the stream with several generous donations.
Who donated here? Oh, Ethan and Hila, 1,000.
Ethan and Hila for the 1,000.
Oh, Ethan and Hila, $1,000. Woo!
For Stand Up to Cancer.
Bro, why does Anissa in this fit look like Lily Tino? Very disturbing.
Hila, $1,000. Woo!
Is he even? What is this a punch?
Stand Up to Cancer.
What is he doing? I must not know.
As Idubbbz's charity.
Is this training?
For Stand Up to Cancer.
As Idubbbz.
He's like giving the punching bag a pat on the back.
This charity event was gaining momentum. One of its biggest supporters.
And then he's got one of those like transgender breast binders.
Was facing a very unsettling situation.
Peak male fitness.
Around March 2025, Ethan and his family became the target of a disturbing harassment campaign when Child Protection Services was falsely called to his home after.
That's called the jack-off workout.
Harassment campaign when Child Protection Services was falsely called to his home after he mentioned that they could have contracted
This chat's hilarious. It's how he pats the butt of the guy banging his wife. Okay.
Giardia from their dog.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
And now Hila has Giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my god.
What can I do to not get it from
Yeah,
you?
I'm trying to...
Because I'm not trying to get
Give
it.
it crank the AC, maybe?
It's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop.
While the
And you know, people were justifying the CPS call because of that clip. Crazy. Madness.
in which his family contracted the disease might suggest some hygiene concerns.
Certainly does not justify calling the FBI and CPS 100%. And if you do that, I think 100% you have a secret motive against Ethan Klein as a person, and you're using that clip as a Trojan horse.
Ethan strongly believed it wasn't serious enough to warrant a CPS visit to his home.
Obviously.
Turned into this whole snark narrative that our house is a mess, that there's dog shit everywhere, that Sonny is eating shit and getting giardia, and that, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And well, it culminated in somebody finally, an anonymous call went into them on the 3rd, saying that they were somebody that works at the house, and they wanted to report us because our kids are crawling around eating dog shit and getting viruses. And
that's so fucked up. It's so fucked up that this like happened. I mean, obviously, but to me, this is almost the same thing as like swatting. It may as well be like only slightly not as bad. Dan Clancy in chat, good one.
They were able to provide enough details because of what I said on the show.
I mean, it's disgusting. It's so shameless.
To make it appear that it was somebody, he said, like when he first showed up, he's like, it's somebody that you know who made the report.
Because here's the thing, right? With swatting, the intention is 100% because you're just trying to fuck with someone and ruin their life. It's like a troll attack, okay? But with this, it's like the same thing, but the reasoning is so manipulative. They're like, no, we're not actually just trying to fuck with him. We care about his kids. Really? Really? You care about the well-being of his kids, so you're gonna subject him to, you know, expecting men in suits and ties to show up to your doorstep unannounced and ask you to search the home? Really? Yeah, you care so much. Mind you, these people are all childless. They're all childless leftist Twitch streamers. They could give a fuck. They don't care. They're not gonna have kids, okay? They're gonna just buy fucking toys from adamandeve.com and climax every night and then take a rip of the bong and then pass out. They're not gonna have kids. No one would procreate with them. They're never gonna know what it's like to fear for the lives of your child and have a protector instinct kick in. It's not gonna happen, okay? You think Denims is getting knocked up? By who? Who's doing that? Who's taking one for the team? Frogan? Yeah, no, please. I got one homie who has like an alcohol problem. Maybe he would do that, like it fucked up enough. Otherwise, you're out of your mind. You know, that's just, it's crazy. All of it is fake. It's fake concern. It's just, it's all because they don't like someone on the internet. And there's a saying that they use to justify this stuff. It's no bad tactics, just bad targets. And so you can justify doing anything bad to someone if you deem them as just like the worst thing ever, right?
Incident cut so deep that Ethan and Healer would go on a several
Imagine being baby-trapped by Frogan. Oh, I'd kill myself.
This long rant about how their close friend Idubbbz and Anissa didn't bother standing up for them in the face of online harassment, something they gladly did for the Jomhas months prior.
Thanks, Anissa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times, because like, why would I not? It was crazy. It's crazy. People were shitting on you and Ian because you did. Of course I was gonna stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me. So...
The problem...
Okay.
From my understanding, Anissa is totally complicit in this stuff because she was trying to use people like Frogan and Denims and those Hassan Orbiters as a way to boost her own Twitch career, which... Yeah, how's that going? How's that working out?
If you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
For a bit of context, the new friends Healer and Ether were referring to were a group of creators associated with Hassan Abi. Ethan and Hassan frequently clash over different political topics, and the debates often get personal. Considering Idubbbz' association with both parties, you'd expect him to stay neutral and not pick sides. Unfortunately, he was not at all interested in being neutral, as Idubbbz was about to betray his friend in the worst way possible.
You know what was one of the craziest things? Oh my god, yeah, no, Denim said this shit. She said, how can we expect him to care about his own children's health and well-being when he doesn't even care about Palestinian children? That might be the most straw man argument I've ever heard in the realm of political discourse and online drama. That is just so mind-numbingly stupid. I don't know how anyone could conjure that up and speak that into the world. Because those two things are the same. It's like, brother, you are such a dishonest actor, it's not even funny. It's crazy. And you're chopped. Can we talk about that? Choppedums? I want to coin that term. Choppedums. Very chopped.
Of April 2025, Idubbbz would revive the legendary Content Cop series with an upload dedicated to dissecting his former friend, Ethan Klein.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be
Only time I've ever said ACAB.
awake, Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
This is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Like, hold on.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
This is just Diesel Patches.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Who is this person? I just don't even know. Like, I know who this is. But why?
Wake up. Seems anyone? Just wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
I'm not gonna do a react content yet.
So my mom telling me to go hang out with the neighbor's kids, and these are the neighbor's kids? Yeah.
Chat.
I'm the same. Nobody's told you to wake up, Ethan. Ooh, yummy. I love Sabra hummus. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
Wake up.
Bro, did Hassan get a new mic cover after that? You gotta replace that shit.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Ethan.
Let's own Ethan Klein by deep-throating a Shure SM7B. Nice.
Wake up.
Dude, he probably has Giardia, bro. He probably got that poopy breath on God. Yeah, his breath stinks. His wife literally said his breath stinks like shit, and he put that all over Hassan's mic. Sheesh, bro. Huh. Ooh.
Wake up.
Compassion.
According to Idubbbz, the content cop on Ethan was necessary for two reasons. One, Ethan's recent attack on him during the H3 podcast, and two, Ethan's inability to handle political discussions.
Empathy, guys.
Guys, I'm going to tell you a story about Ethan Klein. I know some of you have been following him, but there's a lot of people who might not be familiar with the background, with his podcast. He's had a show with Hassan Piker. In doing so, he's gathered a ton of different audiences. Now, in his podcast with Hassan, Leftovers, they would mostly talk about surface level progressive shit and make fun of right-wingers.
And you're telling me he didn't flick their dick once at least?
Oh, that's 100
Isn't that what you do? Wait a second. He just described his own channel.
They would mostly talk about surface level progressive shit. And make fun of right-wingers.
Make fun of right. That's what you do. Wait a sec. No. He mostly does progressive shit, surface level, making fun of right wingers. Yeah, he doesn't cover the news. He just is like Trump is chopped. Hold on a second. Let's just make sure that I'm not tweaking off the bean right now. The Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, let's make sure I didn't hit the Benjamin Netanyahu. Yeah, no, this is literally, he's just like, let's make fun of like these guys in the thumbnail. Let's make fun of like Elon Musk and Trump. So he does the same shit. Okay, so you guys do the same level of political insight, which is fine. That's okay. That's completely okay. But I'm confused as to why you're acting above it. Is it because you're like friends with Hassan and you think that he's like legit? Like you trust his news? You trust him as a speaker?
And you're telling me he didn't flick their dick once at least?
Oh, that's 100 shavers. You trans women. I say, oh no!
And it was mostly that until they actually had to reckon with a very serious topic. I would say that Hassan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
Glaze.
Ethan was not prepared for this.
Of course.
Ethan, the whole time, is more of the goof guy. And that's fine, you know? We don't expect Ethan to be an expert on the topic.
From Idubbbz's perspective, Ethan's personal connections and humorous approach to content creation made him ill-equipped to handle a particular political discussion. He even went so as far as to describe his coverage as propaganda.
He's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience
There's
who
no
are
way.
very politically savvy. They follow Hassan. Hassan is strictly a political streamer, so this is something they're very keyed into. So when they see Ethan say things that are just like not accurate and it's just propaganda.
Are we forgetting who his co-host is? The self-proclaimed proud propagandist. This is, you can't script this. This is a joke, right? This is a joke. Where's the clip? Who has the clip? I am a propagandist. Where Hassan admits it. He literally, he's proud that he's a propagandist. He wears it with a badge of honor. How can you say that Ethan's doing propaganda when the guy who's sitting 5 feet away from him says it himself? I'm confused. I don't understand how this is even something that you don't realize the irony in.
They're gonna call it out.
Political debate.
Yeah, when he was on Piers Morgan.
Aside, Idubbbz would spend
Please
the
tell me,
vast majority of the video
Internet anarchist, bro, you have the chance to do the funniest thing right now.
responding to his recent falling
It's
out
all
with
good, it's all
Ethan
good.
and justifying why he wouldn't speak for his former friends.
I'm not gonna assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel.
That literally does not mean anything. That's like saying, like, because you're ethnically of something, that you are very tied in and you know a lot about what's happening to that group. What does that mean? Like, you know how many, like, Italian people I know who don't know a fucking thing about Italy? Like, they don't even know who's, like, currently in charge of that country. They couldn't even name 5 cities on the map. Literally means nothing. Like, you should just trust someone because they're ethnically of a country that is currently in a war. That's so dumb. Don't trust people who actually do, like, the news and research this stuff. Trust the Lebanese person. Listen, it's like asking, like, hey, we should get our information about illegal immigration from, like, a Mexican construction worker who doesn't even know what he's doing, who just builds shit, who doesn't know a single thing about, like, foreign policy. We should ask him how it works. That's so stupid. Actually, I'd go as far as to say that it's retarded, to use a more crass word to describe this shit.
Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me. No, we're not gonna fucking defend you.
When it came to Ethan
I'm ethnically German, am I cooked?
talking about the people who spread rumors about him, Idubbbz made it seem like he was overreacting and that it wasn't as serious as they made it out to be.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know,
her chat,
yeah,
which I'll
she's
show.
friends with
Denims
Denim.
is actually participating in this whole Child Protective Service lie.
Yeah,
which I'll
and if
show you
you're
guys
friends with
today.
them, then you're saying what they're saying.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denims character. Originally, the complaint was about...
Bro, she's so, like, look at her,
Which I'll show. Denims
Denim.
is actually participating in this
Look at
whole
this.
Child Protective Service lie.
Yeah,
Which I'll
and if
show you
you're
guys
friends with
today.
them, then you're saying what they're saying.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denim.
She has the same filter that all AI-generated images have, where they have, like, that orange filter on them, like that tint. Completely useless commentary. Thought I'd mention it.
Character. Originally, the complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila for the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit that's clearly looking out for
Is her OF worth it or not? I'll get back to you on that.
them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, we are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person like we think Ethan and Hila are good people. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me.
Something worth noting is how Idubbbz doesn't mention that Ethan and Hila were targets of a false CPS call or online harassment. Instead, he focuses on how their call out affects him emotionally.
This is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. There was a way to approach this to say like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. I feel very insulted and I feel defensive and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people.
I'm gonna go to sleep. This guy has no aura and he has no entertainment value whatsoever. Oh my goodness, I could watch paint dry and this could be more entertaining. I honestly think I could watch like the DVD hitting the corner and like that excitement that it might hit the corner is just infinitely more value than the current Idubbbz content ever could give me. It's crazy. It's like not even close actually. It's so fucking boring and void of any entertainment value. It's just like, I'm upset that you like betrayed me and shit, even though I betrayed you, and like, you know, I'm justifying the CPS call to your home, and I'm friends with all the people that do it, and in like a week I'm gonna go on Noah Sampson's podcast and justify everything that's happened to you, and yeah, you know, it's all good. It's all good.
Who have problems with you.
Jesus,
and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
By the end of the video, Idubbbz thought it was necessary to bring in a therapist to analyze Ethan's behavior, and he had this to say.
From the clips that you have shown me, I believe that Ethan is a good person, and that eventually he will feel sorrow and will feel sorry and will apologize, and I will be there to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know it will.
Oh. Why? Why bring a therapist into your YouTube drama? If this isn't peak concern trolling, I don't know what is. And get this. We're gonna bring the therapist on, and then the therapist will say something that I co-sign, and if he doesn't, then I just won't put it in the clip. If he says something that frays from what I want him to say, then we just won't put it in the video. That's great. That's awesome and epic, and I like it, and it's not biased. It's definitely impartial. It's good. And it makes people appreciate the journalism that Idubbbz is doing. Because, you know, this is what journalists do. They bring in therapists to paint narrative about their YouTube beef. No, that's normal. That's normal. That's good.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
That therapist seems fake AF. I think he's playing the agree with the client game. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like if you go to therapy, right? The reality is, you know, if you're paying for a therapist and then you do something shitty as fuck, like if you go to your therapist and you're like, yeah, you know, I cheated on my girlfriend of like 15 years, but, you know, I was having a bad day. You know, I got 3 crowned in my game of Clash Royale, and I've been down on my luck, and so I cheated. The therapist would be like, okay, well, you know, Clash Royale means a lot to you, and I can see why, and it's just some bullshit. Like, they're just going to reaffirm what you believe, okay? And so, yeah, I mean, if Idubbbz was paying him, like, obviously he's going to say some shit like this.
Unfortunately, Kirk...
That's just, like, literally a BetterHelp therapist. Like,
Brother, this guy stinks!
Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade. But that's okay, because this is the internet. Anyone can have their own official apology rating system. So I'm going to rate Ethan's apology a B-. That's just based on my own feelings and my own rubric.
Analyzing Ethan's behavior wouldn't be the only reason the therapist was there, as he also gave Idubbbz the opportunity to cry about his own problems in hopes of garnering some sympathy from viewers.
See the dynamic of Ethan and Neela. It's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
It goes without saying, but
bro. Oh my god, holy shit, dude. No. This is crazy. This is insane. This is so fucking, oh my god, no.
That doesn't always help them. Right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
It goes without saying, but Idubbbz's latest content cob didn't go
Who watches this shit?
overwhelmed
My
with
favorite part of the video was when he cried to the therapist about Ethan Klein.
fans, from garnering over 500,000 dislikes to having the entire
That's
comment
empathy,
section
that's
roasting
empathy,
him.
yes,
Viewers saw
yes.
Idubbbz's video as more of a personal attack against Ethan rather than
I
a
wonder
coherent
why.
criticism of his content. Viewers weren't
All I'm getting from this so far is that Joji is the one who truly won. Obviously, yeah. That's great.
the only ones disgusted with Idubbbz's behavior, as Ethan got to share his thoughts about the video live on his stream.
God, bro, peep that negative Canthal tilt.
Use the For You tab. For all you know,
This is your own? You don't know what's on my feed? Let's not address the fact that my friend called Gila a genocide baby killer.
Wait, your friend did?
His friend.
Oh, his friend. Okay.
Let's not address that. Let's address this by saying
I think if you're gonna be friends with Denims or like Frogan or any of the people that are perpetrating these lies about Ethan Klein, you should probably at the very least just like not openly fucking support them. Like if you want to be friends, keep that behind the scenes, just kick it, you know, play some video games together, hang out, FaceTime, but you don't have to go on the internet and then use a content cop as a Trojan horse to just echo all of their sentiments. That's, I think, when you have a bit of a problem, because if you're going to do that, then you're going to be being held accountable for everything that they've said, which is a very dangerous game. I don't know if you want to be ever being held accountable for shit that you didn't even say.
You don't know what's on my feed. Are we really okay? We're really taking this on.
I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty. I'm just not gonna throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment.
Okay, that's how you want to describe being a virulently fucking anti-Semitic and hateful, as a weird moment.
He still made no mention that CPS was called on our children and that guy was
Celebrating
it.
justifying it.
Whether Idubbbz knew it or not, attacking Ethan with a politically charged narrative was about to cost him more than a few dislikes and harsh comments, as his controversy bled into the latest iteration of Creator Clash. By the 29th of April 2025, one of the main fighters for the Creator Clash 3 event, Harley Morenstein, tweeted that he would no longer be
Dude, this image is sick. How do I get a professional photographer to get me looking like the Yes Chad Wojak?
Participating in the charity event. While Harley didn't state why he was dropping out of the event, users speculated that it was due to Idubbbz's political views and association with Hassan Nabi, someone that Harley had been at odds with in the past. However, looking at his conversation with Nicholas Diorio a few days prior, it seems Harley already had concerns about how the event was being handled.
Done the next day. So now the fight is over. And we all slept in the hotel, us and you know, everyone on Twitch that got brought down. We all slept there, and the next day was this party. And I remember going to the party and seeing like professional photographer. I remember seeing some girl singing on stage, and a guy telling jokes after. And in my head, I was like, someone flew that girl down. I don't know who she is, but she got a hotel room. She may have also gotten paid to be here. I'm looking at the food on the table.
Yeah, so they basically were throwing parties with a bunch of creators, and they were expecting the party to have a high return on investment because they wanted the creators who were invited to just post about Creator Clash and try to get people to the event just because they were partying and stuff. But I think that they kind of looked past the fact that they have to like make that like obligated. Like if you're going to come to the party, you know, please tweet something or post something in support of our event so that we can make money off of it. And you're just not coming here and getting free drinks and getting fucked up with a free hotel. Because it's like, you know, you're sort of just setting money on fire if you're not doing that. So yeah, not great.
I'm not really hungry. I'm like, all this food. I'm like, I was with my partner at the time. I was like, I don't know if everyone here is analyzing it the way I am, but we paid for this party. I thought money was going to charity still. So I'm like, money's going to charity, but like this party is paid for by us because we were supposed to get a bonus on top of it all.
Yeah, so you guys didn't know how bad it really was, and then you were like, did they throw us under the bus, or...
No, that's when I found out the sick kids paid for that party, not us, actually.
Whatever his reasons were, the fact remains that Creator Clash had lost one of their biggest fighters, and it would be a struggle to replace him. Speaking of struggles, the event's organizers were having trouble selling tickets and had to remove some of the available seats to make sure the venue looked less empty. In a bid to save the event, Idubbbz reached out to several other potential fighters, but none of them were willing to take the offer.
Idubbbz DM'd me and he asked, how much do you weigh? So I think he's gonna try to get me in Creator Clash.
I'd watch that.
Which, by the way, before that comes out and before that gets invited, before I get invited to that, I'm not interested.
As if things couldn't get any worse, another fighter, Lena Ayed, also dropped out of the event the following day.
It is with great regret that we announced that Lena will not be participating in Creator Clash either.
Yes. First off, I apologize to any of the fans who were going to see Lena. It's been a lot. And
yeah, I think this event is, it's never happening again. I don't know how you come back from this. Like, the bad PR is so fucked that it's not even savable. When you've set this much, you know, bad blood out about your event, it's just, how do you even bring it back from this? Everyone has a negative perception of it. The people that even liked it the first time they went, you know, now all they hear about is how dead and cooked it is. I don't know if you can bring it back.
And Lena has just sort of been thrown in the middle.
You'd think with all these hits to the Creator Clash brand, Idubbbz would focus on salvaging the situation and de-escalating the controversy. Unfortunately, it seems he only wanted to make things worse. On the 3rd of May 2025, Idubbbz released a content deputy on Ethan and tried to blame him for the downfall of Creator Clash 3.
I was hoping that if I made a video about Ethan, he would act like an adult and he would keep the attacks directed at me.
I don't know what's with this whole thing where Idubbbz, now that he acts like an adult, in quotes, because he's very focused on reminding everybody that he's empathetic and that he's mature. He now has to like talk in this condescending way to everyone else to where, you know, he's like, guys, let's be adults, okay? Let's use our manners, let's use our empathy. It's like, brother, you don't even do that yourself. What are you talking about? I feel like it's a very big projection thing, where because he now is super aware of being mature and stuff, that whenever someone else is arguing with him, you know, he needs to constantly remind them to take a tone of like adultness. And I think it's very much coming from it stems from his own insecurity about getting empathy at age 30.
Me and Anissa. Unfortunately,
being a cuck isn't mature. Okay.
I was wrong in thinking that, because Ethan, in a desperate attempt to attack and smear Anissa and I, he started attacking our charity event.
From Idubbbz's perspective, the backlash he and Anissa received was unjustified, and instead of taking accountability, they decided the best course of action was to hand over the event to their business partners.
Now, with this recent revelation that people are just going to use Creator Clash to attack Anissa and I, Anissa and I have decided to step away from Creator Clash. We have relinquished control to our business partners who ran the previous 2 events. They're very capable. They know exactly what they're doing. They run events on a regular basis.
For the rest of the video, Idubbbz addressed various points Ethan made against the Content Cop video, with the main one being on how he didn't mention the false CPS call.
The main criticism that I was seeing online with my video from Ethan and Hila is that I didn't mention the CPS call. I wonder why I wouldn't mention the CPS call. Could it be that the CPS call happened the same day that you were shit-talking me, and I didn't have any chance to defend myself? You just immediately, in the same podcast, right next to each other, said, CPS call was very traumatic, and then you said, fuck Ian and Anissa. And you linked those together, you kind of layered those flavors, and then Anissa and I got a bunch of harassment. We had nothing to do with the CPS call. What are all these comments on your Reddit saying like, it happened because of the CPS call? I don't entirely blame your audience for getting confused, because number 1, it's a fucking cult, and number 2, you can't even get the timeline straight.
The way Idubbbz was
how is his audience a cult? Wouldn't it be more cultish to, like, you know, surround yourself with people who actively lie about somebody else because it benefits themselves? Isn't that more culty? And then they literally they ban and they remove themselves from any dissenting voice. Isn't that more cultish?
Framing the situation made it seem like people were blaming him for
like he literally surrounds himself with the most cult-like fucking people on Twitch. I don't understand this.
CPS incident. But
am I going crazy?
That wasn't the case. People called him out for not mentioning it in his Content Cop video or acknowledging that it was the reason for Ethan's outburst. He even went as far as justifying the CPS call by claiming Ethan's viewers—
Isn't this like all backwards? Like, he's talking about maturity. He's immature. He's talking about being a cult. He's in a cult. I don't understand any of this. Like, it seems so inverted and backwards. And I just don't understand how there is not a drop of self-awareness from him. Like, this doesn't make sense at all. And I understand that people are picking up on this, and that's good. And I think I'm doing my part. And I think everyone in chat and everyone who's watching is doing their part by cringing at this and reacting to it negatively, because by doing so, you're maintaining your own level of sanity. That's good, right? Like, it's the same way that if you're walking to get food and there's a homeless guy begging for $1 and he's high on crack and meth, you're going to sort of shrivel in disgust and then, like, you know, walk a little faster. That reaction keeps you sane. It is a survival instinct. I feel like you have to have that same shrivel reaction when you see some crazy shit like this, or else it's like, if you become numb to the lies and the inversion of reality that's being portrayed here, then you're gonna not understand right from wrong. You're not gonna understand good from bad. And I feel like you have to stay sane by looking at this and going, what the fuck? Because if you're not, then it's just like, really? You know, if you're not continuously getting pissed off and annoyed at this and thinking that it's backwards, then I feel like a lot of this will go over your head.
Would naturally be concerned.
So of course, Ethan, having made so many enemies over the years, other people react to his content. And when other people see that he's talking about
what enemies has he made over the years? Like, how many people fucking hate this guy, like, beforehand? I don't even, like what?
Other people—
Aren't you the fucking, like, content cop?
React to his content. And when other people see that he's talking about his children getting giardia from dog poo, people are quite reasonably concerned. And so—
This guy's delusional.
Yes. Anyone who's seeing that content might be concerned enough to call CPS.
Idubbbz was desperate to paint Ethan as the villain, but similar to his recent content cop, viewers weren't going to take his side, expressing their dissatisfaction with comments like, learns the ability of empathy until it comes to frivolously calling CPS on someone. Quote, actually,
Yeah,
it's a
thank
good
you, thank you, thank you to these commenters, because they make me feel like I'm not going insane. This is my medication.
You almost got your kids taken away.
It's a daily dose of sanity, and I'm not missing a dose.
From Mr. Empathy, as well as never let YouTubers use the word empathy ever again.
Thank you. I like, here's the thing. I'm a slop content creator, but I honestly feel like I'm doing good in the world by keeping people sane. I feel like I'm keeping people sane, and I think that I'm doing a service by doing that, okay? So if you want to stay sane, and if you think that that's good for you, then subscribe, okay? Follow me on Kick, subscribe to me on YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment, because this video, I honestly think the meta on YouTube right now is engagement, so if you engage in this video in any way at all, I appreciate that, but holy crap.
What makes this video even more laughable is how Idubbbz automatically assumed the internet would take his side and stated the dislike
Slop lives matter. Yes.
And his original content cop were completely inaccurate.
Also, for all the people who touch grass, I want to remind you to click the like button on this video, not so it goes
fuck you
in your algorithm or anything, just specifically so that we can add a counter narrative, or I can get an idea of how much astroturfing is out there, because I know that a lot of these fuckers, they love their dislike button extensions. And I saw that shit and I was like, what the fuck? These are all like fabricated numbers. The like-dislike ratio was like 80-20 on my video, and then they tried to create a narrative of like, no, people actually hate this content cop, guys.
They do.
It's actually so much worse.
They do.
Ironically, by sharing that metric, Idubbbz just proved how accurate said dislike extensions were. As one user on Twitter would put it, he then shared a screenshot providing analytics from a previous video at 61.7% ratio. However, the YouTube dislike extension showed that same video at 61.37% ratio. Seeing all of this unfold from a distance, Ethan decided to dedicate an entire section of his recent podcast appearance to clowning on Idubbbz, and shared this prediction about the future of Creator Clash.
Very proud of the event that we made with Creator Clash. It's still happening,
No,
June
it's not.
28th.
This event is not happening.
What? It's how?
How
soon is it? Bro, it's in like 10 days. Oh, no.
Obviously,
it's
I'm
over.
making a
It's
prediction.
over. It's actually
I don't think this
over.
event is happening. I
No,
think
it's
this is going to
over.
go down as
It
one of
aged
the
like
most monumental failures.
I would agree.
In YouTube history
I would
by
agree.
a creator. And
Yeah.
I was joking, but now I think it's actually true that this is going to make TanaCon
I told you.
look like the fucking Tony
I'm
Awards.
always right. I'm always right.
Since writing and editing this
Holy
video, Idubbbz and Anissa have somehow made the situation around Creator Clash even worse. From even more fighters
Like, this looks like one of those couples where she's from, like, Ukraine and he's an American, and it's on, like, 90 Day Fiancé, where she came to the US just to gold dig off him, off of that early content cop bread, and she's, like, completely used him for citizenship, even though she's homegrown. That kind of makes it worse.
somehow made the situation around Creator Clash even worse. From even more
Like, one of those, like, chopped couples that it's, like, you know, one of them is so clearly just trying to, like, be able to stay in the US to get out of, like, her war-torn country. She's, like, literally American, though. It's crazy.
have somehow made the situation around Creator Clash even worse. From even more fighters dropping out to the charity aspect of the event being totally debunked. Everything surrounding Creator Clash has only degraded with each passing day.
Does anyone know who these people are? No offense. I know I'm a nobody, but, like, who are these people? Sapnap? Okay, I only know Sapnap as the guy who, like, orbited Dream for a while and then made it so that Kick never gave out deals. Someone said sub 5 couple, that's crazy. And now Kick doesn't give out those, like, big-ass deals anymore because Sapnap didn't bring any viewers to Kick.
Debunked.
What is this? Kevin? Oh, I thought this was the guy who, like, showed his asshole on camera. Myth fell off. Odd One's out. He's cool. Will Neff.
Everything surrounding Creator
I don't know.
Clash has only degraded.
Like, here's the problem. Like, I feel like what they do is they make it so that they'll only get the most popular people within their group. Like, if you're outside of their group and you don't have, like, the approved political views, or if you're not even just, like, close to them, even if you're a huge creator, you're just, like, not in it, which I think is weird.
With each passing day.
Funky Frog Bait, yeah. I mean, I know her, but, like, that's because, like, I made a video where I was responding to her claiming that the man and the bear thing in the woods was, like, based because, like, women should be afraid of men. And they shouldn't be afraid of bears because bears won't essay them or some shit. Yeah, her content's great.
Regarding the charity side of the event, it was revealed that Ian and Anissa were taking 34% of the event's profits before any donations were made.
No, that's cool.
And if that wasn't bad enough, they refused to explain where the proceeds of the events were actually going, while placing everything under the guise of it being for quote charity. As one of their former commentators, Wade Plemons, put it,
problem is you don't hear the enthusiasm about it being charity event, charity event, charity event, charity event, charity event, over and over and over here.
Who's enthusiastic?
It was marketed when it came to fruition. Now, all the stuff they're saying there is legitimately what they tried to do. They want it to be a party. They want it to be like VidCon. They want it to be like influencers all gathered in one place. That's what happened. I did see a lot of influencers there. I did feel a little bit out of place and like it was a bit more VidCon-y than an actual fight event or like a party, all under the guise of a charity event.
These concerns were further echoed by Idubbbz's former trainer, who added more context on where all the money from the previous Creator Clash went.
I think it was you, Kate, that mentioned that.
This is gonna get. Oh no.
They did. He and Anissa did in fact pay for Hassan and all of his compadres to travel to and stay at Creator Clash 2.
Yes.
Yeah, and then he didn't even pay for his own father. Yeah.
So they were talking about that long before, about how they had to fly in all these people. They were first of all, they rented the hotel for over 300 creators.
Nice.
And flew a lot of them in. When the first year it was much more scaled back. We just had a couple floors of like some place, like a nice suite place, but it wasn't extravagant at all.
As if that wasn't embarrassing enough, their coach also revealed just how much of a stranglehold Anissa had on Idubbbz's training routine and life.
They didn't want to take time to get to know the boxing community.
Yeah.
She acted like she was better than the boxing community.
Yes.
We were in a boxing gym called Top Rank one time, and there was a guy named Jay Prince who was like the manager for Floyd Mayweather, manager for Andre Ward, and all these very high-level boxers. So for me, that's a big deal. And the owner of the gym,
what did the Nissa just not care, like not even say hi?
Was kind enough to introduce us, and she was like, "No, I don't want to meet him. Ian's tired. We don't want to meet him."
Yeah.
Wait, I don't want to meet him because of what?
Yeah.
Ian was tired.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
She would
That's
tell.
That's great. That's mature. That is mature. Take notes.
Ian, when he was tired, one time we ended sparring, and afterwards everybody's hanging out, and she walks up to Ian and she goes, "You're hungry."
Yes.
And then so they had to leave because Ian was hungry.
Dude, she's like his caretaker. It's so honestly, no, not caretaker. I'd say like slave. Master, yeah.
Controlling Idubbbz and hindering his training wasn't enough for Anissa, as she allegedly had an open crush on one of his sparring partners.
What I've heard is that she was hitting on.
She has so much empathy. She cares so much about others. She actually cares a lot about men that are not her husband. She'll be smashing Idubbbz's sparring partner, and she'll look at Idubbbz dead in the eyes and be like, "Idubbbz, this is empathetic. I'm being empathetic toward his cock and balls, okay? I'm showing him lots of oral empathy, okay? That's how we spread love, and honestly, if you don't get it, you're just not mature enough. I'm being very empathetic to his needs to ejaculate."
One of his sparring
That's
partners.
based. No, that's good. That's great. It's very empathetic.
And was obsessed with him and gave him a VIP pass to the event.
She's showing how deep her empathy is, yeah.
A lot of his sparring partners got the passes, but she definitely had a big crush on one of the guys that would come in and spar with them, because anytime they would spar, she would just be super into it and watch every moment. And then even if he would like beat Ian up, she'd be very into it.
In retrospect,
that's cool. That's awesome.
Could have avoided all of the backlash if he hadn't tried to throw one of his biggest supporters and collaborators under the bus.
I completely agree. All right, chat. Great video. I have to go take a poop. I'll be RB.